Hey, it's Andrew Huang here with another episode of 4 Producers, 1 Sample. 4 artists are going to get the exact same audio to make their own unique track out of. And I've got a great lineup joining me today. We've got Illmind, Simon Servida, and the Kount. And we're gonna do something a little different in this episode. We're gonna work with a full song, including stems. So you're hearing it right now. This is a track called Solstice from the new Cymatics sample pack Zodiac. And shout out to Cymatics for sponsoring this video. Something they're starting to do with their packs is working with live players, creating full songs. So it feels more like you're sampling off a record and can chop different little related pieces from it rather than like working with a one-off loop. So this is like a full 3-minute song with live drums, guitar, sax, and some high-end synths like the Moog 1 and the Dave Smith OB6, and it's royalty free for you to use in your productions along with hundreds of other sounds in the Zodiac pack. So it's mostly this chill vibe with some sax lines. There's a couple guitar solos. There's this funkier one, and then a more aggressive one later in the song. So that's the gist of today's sample. Let's see what everybody did with it.
Alright, so first of all, Cymatics, that sample was fire. And shout out to Andrew, man. Appreciate you guys, bringing me in. I started this song off with just a drum break. Wanted to just keep the first 4 bars like true to the original. So I kept the saxophone, those synth lines in there, and I added this little clap here. I was thinking about like which element of this sample should I take to really chop up and flip. And I really loved the guitar solo. I just chopped it up into like various different pieces, put a little distortion on it. The drum groove was really just like unquantized, just on the fly. The synth is really main melody, This Prophet 3 is one of my favorite plugins ever. It just has this like dirty, like lo-fi kind of sound to it after I added Scream. I wanted to layer like another sound to complement the bass. So I used Mellotron. So that combined with the bass I thought sounded pretty fly. I had to bring in the old school grunts. When you hit multiple keys on the NN19, you can get some really cool textures. I had this little drum break to, walk in the second part. I just brought back the synth and then I layered some pianos. I layered a high version and then used M Transformer to pitch it down. So when you hear both, when you layer it with everything else, it just kind of sounds good. I wanted this ending part to just be some turn up shit, and I basically took my own sample playing and just flipped my own piano playing. The drums are just like some straight crunchy trap drums. And then for the 808, I like using grain. I just basically used Super VHS and Isotope Ozone 5 EQ to just give the 808 some more texture, and then layered it with the kick at the end for 4 more bars, and then the song is done, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, that comes in really cool.
Oh, I like that.
Sax up front.
That's crazy.
Oh, nice.
Oh no, there's too much bounce in this one.
Love how choppy this is, and that lazy bass. salsa flavor creeping in.
I like that counter melody a lot. Oh.
Keeps changing.
Whoa.
Whoa, that was like a super fast journey.
That was incredible.
There's so much swing to it. It's so damn good. My glasses are fogging up. Hello, my name is Servida. I'm a music producer. That's pretty much it, so let's get to the breakdown. Okay, so the first thing I do is I just brought the tempo up a bit, so now it's 91 BPM, and I'm kind of just playing the full sample in its entirety. The only thing I'm doing is I'm putting this fog convolver on the master, and then I have this little automation, so it slowly swells and gets bigger and bigger right before the drop. So when I flip samples, I kind of like to look for the most recognizable part in the sample and kind of play with that. So for me, it was this brass melody right here. That semitone melody, just kind of moving back and forth, putting in a little bit of OTT, a little bit of Fab Filter, EQ, and a little bit of Echo Boy. I thought it would be cool if I kind of changed the bass note under that. The 808 is playing B in the root, and the brass riff is playing the F and the F sharp, so it kind of creates this little tritone tension thing. And then I'm just kind of putting in some drums to support that. I really wanted that kick to just thump like crazy, so I just put in some Diablo Light. So without it, and then with it. And then once I had that, it was kind of just finding cool little melodies and runs to kind of just fit in between it. There was just this part in the saxophone section that I really liked. Right there. So I transposed it to fit the key. Yeah, so this is like the main thing going on. After that, I'm just looking for cool little melodies to kind of fill in that empty space. So I'm just chopping up some of the funk guitar stuff I heard. Found a lot of cool melodies for the saxophone. Also, just taking some of the drum fills from the original sample, kind of just putting them at the end of every bar just to make it a bit more interesting. And that's pretty much the first section. Taking some of the ambience and the effects from the original sample, just kind of helping transition to the next section. So the first thing I started with was this chord progression on the Rhodes. Putting in just some EQ, and then I put in the fog convolver again. And then after I had that, I was just kind of adding this bass line, saxophone phrases, guitar phrases, electric piano. Other than that, it's just a lot of things to kind of help support it. So street ambience, make it a bit smoother. This ride cymbal, I think a shaker. Yeah, make it all really nice and ambient. During the second half is when I bring in this lead. I just chopped up a section of the choir. I set it to loop so that you can sustain it really long. And then I just put a couple of effects. Little wah-wah guitar thing. EQ, a little bit of reverb, and then some RC20. Here's a little drum loop I made, just chopped up the little hi-hat loop and then also a rim. This slowly automates in. And then we get to the next section. The main instrument is this funny sounding pluck. And this is from the guitar. Just kind of played with a couple knobs. And then EQ, fog convolver again, and then effect tricks to kind of just automate some cool little sections during the part. It's just doing a lot of pitch bending, so I'm just manipulating the pitch here. And then for the drums, I make it a bit more trappier. Instead of the snare, we have a clap, nice bouncy 808. And then, didn't know how to end the thing, so I just put the sax riff at the end and I'm like, yeah, okay, we're done.
Dirty, bro.
That was unexpected in the best way.
Harmonically, this is so interesting. I can't tell what mode he's in.
Such a nice 808.
We're into like a spy movie.
serious bounce. So dope, Simon. Nice one, man.
Yo, I love that. So tasteful, Simon.
Really great groove and a cool blend of all different kinds of styles.
You kept it smooth, but you made it funky at the same time, and that combination was fly.
Hey, just a quick interruption from me before we listen to the count. We're doing something that a lot of For Producers viewers have requested. We're giving away the sample that we used in this video. It's in a free version of Cymatic's Zodiac pack, linked in the description, and we're having a contest around it. So whoever does the best flip of these samples, we're gonna give a prize bundle to that's worth thousands of dollars. More info on that in the description. Okay, the count.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm the Kount. I'm a producer from Toronto, Ontario. Let's get right into it. When I was listening through the sample, there were a few things that really stood out to me. This sound. So that was the melody that kind of stood out to me the most, to start basing stuff around. Another sound that stood out to me from the sample was it was a Moog lead. So I ended up, I think, throwing some reverb and a bit of like stereo wobble to it. There was also this piano part, which was great, which I had to kind of chop up and manipulate a bit. So I just kind of wrote in this automation, was messing around with it to get it a bit more rhythmic. I do this a lot with different samples because you can just get a little bit more bounce out of it. A few count drums. Sometimes I'll quantize something, and then for the little double kicks, I'll just nudge them around a bit. Chopped up that guitar part, the funk guitar, and threw that through delay and good old auto wah. Ended up transposing these two differently. Recorded some chimes here. Laid down the bass line live on the Juno. One of the parts I was really happy with was this Rhodes. I programmed some hi-hat parts. I just ended up, I played these in. And these are pretty quiet in the mix, but they're absolutely necessary. The sidechain helps so much with these kind of elements. Gives it some like velocity variety, which is what real drummers do. I recorded a bunch of percussion for this. I'll just record percussion for a while in a few passes and just chop out of it like where it was the most pocketed. It's extremely quiet in the mix, but all these small elements kind of come together to make things sound rich and full. I recorded like a Prophet pad, and that's got a lot of the same stuff going on. It's really just the retro color, had some space and wobble, and then this was kind of bandpassed, I guess, a bit. Just took out some highs and lows. This was probably like the most fun part about kind of messing around with this beat. I just had my tape machine repaired, so I recorded like a ton of different arpeggios, and I tracked that to tape, and then as I was recording it back into Logic, I was just kind of like poking the tape machine and trying to just get like weird things to happen. It's probably the reason why it was broken in the first place. I hope you learned a little something from my janky percussion techniques. Cheers, guys.
I already love it. Ooh.
Really nice high texture in the back. What is that?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, yes. The Kount and his drums, man, his drum grooves are just pockety as hell.
Some Dilla shit right here.
It just feels like I'm being hugged. Oh.
All that like super soft percussion is so nice.
Bassline is fire.
It's so damn clean.
Oh, great arp going back and forth, left and right.
I love the guitar stuff.
vibe.
Man, I'm just grooving. I can't even think to comment anything. Damn, it's over.
You just got that. You got that sauce, bro. You got that sauce, man. Good job.
Damn, that was really good. Smooth AF. So I started the sample challenge the way that I do most of them, which is just picking out a few different chops that I like from the sample and seeing what I can make with them. In this case, although Cymatics provided all the stems, I decided I wanted to work with the submix that was everything except the drums. And then I grabbed little pieces of the guitar solo to use as recurring melodies. And then for the drums, I just did like a recut of the existing drums. I guess it's worth mentioning at this point that I made my entire track only using the samples because, providing an entire song with all the stems is plenty of audio to work with. So I had this nice chill groove going, and then I decided for the other sections of my songs, I just wanted to try and mangle the samples as much as possible and see what I could pull out of them. So I ran them through a lot of effects, did a bunch of Ableton warping and time stretching on them, just to build up a palette of really interesting, crazy sounds. Freak shift for a bunch of frequency shifting. Distortion coming from permutate and thermal and Ableton stock stuff. Stutter edit gave me a bunch of cool things with the sample. Oh, I also time stretched one of the snares and I got it to sound really cool and metallic. So I really love these kinds of tracks that go all over the place with crazy sound design, but to rein in a bit of the chaos and make it more coherent musically, there are a couple things that I did. Firstly, I kept coming back to this distorted kick drum sound, and then almost all of the other ridiculous sounds I arranged into a really basic recurring rhythm so that your ears have a little bit more to latch onto. So I went with 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't want to spoil too much of what that ended up sounding like, but that's basically it. Took these sounds, layered them, arranged them in that rhythm. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, the chops. Wait.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Oh my gosh, it's going crazy.
This is like Yeezus on crack.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yes.
Oh my goodness.
The sound design is ridiculous. Ooh. The drum work is real nice too.
Ooh, that little funky, what, is that a guitar? What is that?
I'm just waiting for it to get back to the crazy stuff.
That drum break is fire.
Hey, oh. Wait. Okay, wait, hold up. It just kind of blasted all the thoughts right out of my head. I really don't know what else to say.
That was crazy, man.
Andrew. My dude. That got me hype. It's too early to get that hype.
All right, so just a reminder, this sample is free if you want to work with it yourself. It's part of Cymatics' new Zodiac pack, which there's a free version and a paid version of it. Hundreds and hundreds of samples, and they're all in this format of being a complete song that you can sample like a record with stems available for everything. And we're doing a contest around this sample with so many amazing prizes. I'm just gonna put them all on screen right now. Lots of stuff that's gonna go to the winner. You can work in any genre, and it's just gonna be judged on overall quality and creativity. creativity. Check out the link in the description for more info about that and how to enter. Huge shout out again to Cymatics. Thank you to them for sponsoring this video and supporting the production community in so many ways. I'll see you in the next video.